Hello everyone. How is everyone doing today? Sorry for the unusual date. Sorry for the unusual time. But since I took the weekend off, a long weekend off, I needed to move that call, I needed to move that stream. Then I had another important call on at the usual time. So Chucky is coming in with a very specific, small, tiny little question that is answered in the blink of an eye, I guess. Uh, what's new? So, what's new? Let me think. So, first of all, I'll be alone today. Pedro has a day off as well today, actually. So, he'll have to live with just me being here. What's new? What's new? A lot of season's ending, obviously, a lot of stuff happening when the season ends. I'm not sure whether you've seen the Golden Key blend. Then there's gonna be the clan HQ drop that's planned for Monday. So this should be set up during this week. There's so many things we're working on. So the Golden Key blend will go live 4 hours from now, I believe. The Clan HQ drop. Then, well, we have fragments. Apparently, some of you aren't that excited about them, but we've been talking about them and explaining the reasoning behind them. So the reason is that we want to overall reduce the or have a better way of balancing the supply of items, right, and the output of items, and especially with the new items, that's something that we need to pay a lot of attention to, and at the same time, we want to increase the output, the number of NFTs that you can get from the chest and from the Well of Wealth, right? So that there's more stuff that you can get, right? So that's why we decided to do fragments. Not saying that the way the thing that you see about fragments is the exact thing that you'll be getting, right? It's not just fragments that you'll be getting. There's going to be, we just added them to the Well of Wealth so that you can get something extra. It's something extra that you can get from the Well of Wealth that already existed, right? So that's why they've been added there, but that's not, you won't just be getting fragments. It's just that this is a way of providing for a little bit more, so we can include more people into getting something while not running the risk of inflating or creating a flood of items. So that's kind of the reasoning behind that. The dungeon items, I guess you mean a collection, right? I would guess so. That dungeon items is in the top 20 for sure. So there's a few questions from Consumer Gilanego and Discord Hodor regarding new Wombaceums and things, right? Oh, there's a little bit of a background noise. Hopefully that's not too bad. There will be new new Wombaceums. We're currently still putting the final touches on the whole batch of the level up Wombaceums. There's going to be the B Wombaceum. There's going to be a Wombaceum related to let me think, to the clan base, I believe. So there's going to be a bunch of new Wombaceums. Some of them will be we'll be using those, and that's what we always do, right? To better balance the the materials, the resources and the materials that you have, right? So that's the whole goal of removing items from the store, re-adding them later, maybe, or adding new ones, so that there's a different balancing in the resources. So yes, there definitely will be stuff for gold. There definitely will be stuff for coal, but coal you will also use for upgrading the clan base. So there's going to be a lot of use. What's the rumor about WaxP blockchain gas fees that's going on right now? It's a highly talked subject as of right now. So I haven't read the articles about. I think there was an article about the new tokenomics, right? And I think that's what. Hang on. Tokenomics. So I don't know what information is out. So there was one very recently, an update. Okay. So part of that was removing the DeFi fee, right? The so-called DeFi fee. And there is, there's nothing in this article, it seems. Oh no, yeah, there is optional pay per transaction. So that's what's it called here, right? So what I think is being referred to in general when people talk about that, but I don't know the details. And obviously, the devil's going to be in the details, and it's not the pure fact that it's happening. It's going to strongly depend on how it's going to be implemented and how it's going to be balanced, right? That's because we all know that just having a good idea, or the idea doesn't make it itself good or bad. It's about the execution itself, much more than the idea. So what I think the reasoning behind this might be is that if you talk to people from the Ethereum, from the Polygon, from the Avalanche, and so on world, from BNB chain, they all are used to gas fees, and it's a very unfamiliar model for people coming in from other blockchains to actually talk about CPU, RAM, and net, right? And that's been a widely debated thing ever since EU was introduced that back in 2018, right? Some people liked it, including actually myself, and most of the people actually using it. But some people don't understand it, and then it's difficult. Okay, how do you get more resources? And then you have to explain RAM, right? Even Atomic Hub with the UI, with the pop-up, if something goes wrong, then you get an error, and then you get told that you can buy RAM now. And you're like, buy RAM? What does buying RAM mean? Right? And so just paying a certain amount of a fee upon every transaction might actually be the simpler thing, right? Because then it's more predictable, or more, or at least it's more straightforward. Let's put it that way, right? The downside of this, obviously, is that you need the the native token in order to pay for it, right, on top of anything else that you need. And again, it's, I guess, a pay per transaction fee, so long as it's optional or there's ways around that, might be a good idea if you can pay on a per transaction basis, so long as A, it's fair, right, and it's not too expensive, and B, it's clear how that actually works, right, for the people who might look into both. I think what we're gonna preserve, at least from what I've heard, is that apps can still pay for those resources, right? Just like what Wombat has been doing, what Atomic Hub has been doing, what Anchor have been doing. All, like, a lot of applications basically paying for that stuff. I think that still will be possible. So I think it's supposed to basically reduce the amount of quote unquote spam transactions. So or at least have them contribute to a healthier token economic system, right? So I wouldn't, especially if it's mostly rumors, because this Rising Dragons, you're quoting this as a rumor, right? I'm not sure how much of that is rumor, how much of that has been confirmed. I would have to read up on that, or see or talk to the Wax team, or see what has been communicated already. But I wouldn't freak out about this, because there's always going to be a solution. If it works well, this can actually help the usage of Wax, of the Wax network, or it can also help the Wax price. If it doesn't work, then we can always get it changed so that it works better, right? These things tend to be complex to actually figure out at the first shot. How many fragments and wombation will be needed to blend the pack? I'm not entirely sure it's unfortunate Pedro isn't here. So the idea is that we would have different blends, right? And one blend would be that you have a number of fragments, let's say 10 or 8 or 12, or I don't know, that you can blend into a random pack, right? And random would mean that this can be one of the new sets that we've launched already, right, or that are available in the chest, right? So let's say bankers and professors, right? And then there's a specific blend that uses a number of fragments, can be more or less depending on how we look at the balancing, plus a wombatium that would allow you to blend a specific pack, right? Pack that you want. Yeah, so that's basically what we have in mind. I think that's what the B wombatium is going to be used for. And the packs that you blend will be the usual packs, right? The packs that you can that were in the drop. There's no different packs, essentially. So we want to make it deeper. We will make it deeper. The question around, from Captop, is around the Well of Wealth for next season, because we want to add more stuff that will come with additional achievements as well. We were thinking to add more of the let's put it that way. We're considering to add more under the other tab, right? So that can be getting stuff from the shop or helping. Yeah, that's kind of what our thoughts were going into so far. It's not going to be like 500 or 800 meters deep. Just make it a little deeper, have additional slots so we can have additional items, and we will rework most of the rewards that are inside. Didn't hear about power bars level up Wombation. I'm not sure what you mean, Monsters. Maybe you can be more precise on that. What's the power bars level up Wombation? The old Wombations like Atomic Beast and Clear Blue will go out after the end of the season. So basically Thursday or Friday. When I purchased the help all button in clan, why the heck do I still need to push the request help button? It's obvious that I need help, else I won't be in a clan. It's obvious that I need help. It's a nice one. Can this be automated? That's a good suggestion. We'll look into that. We'll look into that. Thanks. As a crypto OG, the EU systems are by far the best systems available for chain computation. Well, can be. Not sure. Like, I haven't seen a lot of the newer stuff, especially the stuff that uses Rust, because some people were very fond of this. But I can still see. No, it's not even for a new person who has had no exposure to the fee system or whatever at all, right? Or to any fee system, because all of them are going to be confusing. And I personally really don't like gas. Not because it's expensive, that's also a reason, but even if it were cheaper, you have to understand it, right? Why is it a different price, and why is there even something I need to configure when I sign a transaction, right? There's always kind of naturally exposes the fact that there's transactions and that there's costs associated with them. So I'd rather have some kind of a staking model that seems like the overall better way. It's just that truth is that EVM seems to be the thing that's prevalent. So having gas is also seems like something that's prevalent. So, are there any new ideas for the VIP Wombat token lockup, or is it staying the same 15% for 360? Are you hinting, Beantown Bob, at us increasing that or reducing that? Now, overall, I mean, we've been thinking about some changes to that, some additions, more like additions rather than how you say it, just removing anything, so that we could offer different types of incentives, like a particular NFT or whatever, to people staking for a long time, maybe even offering an even longer duration or whatever. But there is nothing that's very specific right now. You suggested an amazing book last week. I checked it out, but I haven't read it yet. I think I even ordered it, bought it as a Kindle version. another note to look at that. I can already pay 0.2x per transaction if my CPU is used or usage of the network is very high. Some kind of boost to still do this transaction now. So that's Anchor, right? So the what's it called? The gray mass fuel. I've always had the feeling that these are really expensive. Not that I mean, I like that service. I like the fact that the service exists. But to me, I never did the math, right? So I don't know whether it actually is expensive from a kind of cost for the value ratio. But yeah, it feels like it should be cheaper. Well, that's funny, right? Don't make it deeper. There's no point of a deeper well of wealth. It means you made it deeper just to give more rewards. But that's exactly what everyone seems to want, right? Getting more rewards. If I think back to the debates a few weeks ago, or that have been ongoing essentially regarding there's not enough value for the season pass. But if we make it deeper, then there is more, at least potential value to the season pass. So why not make it deeper? For 20, for 30. In the end, I would like to rework a lot more of this. So I would like to go with daily tasks, maybe on top of the current ones and weekly ones. We even had a rough, I don't want to say concept for this, because concept always sounds like it's fleshed out and stuff, but an idea of how we could make that work already. Oh, by the way, thanks Black Lotus and Consumer Chelanego for the resubs or for the subs. So, and then we could also make it 800 meters, right? Because 800 meters basically just means that there's more steps that you can reach and more stuff that you can get. So that's cool. Yes, okay. We mentioned the power bars, and we said that we want to make them cheaper because the token price has gone up quite a lot. So we want to reduce the cost of them a little bit. I have been waiting on badges for quite a while. Any plans of speeding up this process? Speeding it up. Well, what would speeding it up mean, right? If we are talking about getting more lenient on the process and basically on the requirements that we have, then no, we don't have any plans. If we're talking about having more people who can take care of that, then yes, that's something that we've been talking about, and we're currently trying to structure these kinds of things so that there's a little bit differently, or we're actually restructuring even more than just that, right? So we hope that the outcome of that can be that we're faster. In general, if you have submitted something, I don't know what a while means, right? And I'm also not involved in the process, but that's definitely something that I can dig into. With your specific case, Goofballs, can't tell you because I don't know what the collection name are, and how long you've been waiting and how you submitted that and so on. So we'd have to look from a different perspective there. When will you be fixing the blend page not really user friendly? Yeah, we had a longer discussion last week about this, and we'll try to see. We'll see whether there's some kind of a quickish fix, because it's the piece of software that we have there is a bit brittle, and some of you have been pointing that out. So it might be that we have to rewrite it all in order to fix it, or most of it. So we're currently evaluating what the best solution is, but there will be something better. Are you thinking to make more drops with wombat payment option? In general, yes. So there's even we're having discussions about accepting wombat or allowing wombat for payments of launchpad drops on Atomic Hub in general, right? Right now we don't have that, so whatever we drop on the Atomic Hub launchpad is denominated in wax, or is actually denominated in dollars, but payment options include wax, but that's the only kind of on-chain payment method. But it would be so cool to allow payments with Wombat for any drop that runs on the Atomic Hub launchpad, or at least the ones that that we run, or making that the only payment option, right? So that's so that people are forced into actually owning some Wombat at some point. So that's definitely something we're looking into. We're right now working on other topics when it comes to the launchpad, but that's definitely pretty high on the priority list. There's IOTA. Will the season pass be cheaper next season? Cheaper in terms of dollars, or cheaper in terms of Wombat tokens? We'll see. We can't tell you because we don't know what, or I can't tell you because I don't know what's going to go into the Well of Wealth, right? Which is obviously the biggest part of the season pass, but also we don't know what the token price is going to be. Obviously, now it's pretty soon, so it's in a week from now we shall know that, right? But we will have to do some math there. It's definitely not as bad as it was, and bad in terms of price as it was in the beginning of the season. But we want to have a good balance there. I wouldn't expect it to necessarily always be at around $20 in dollars, right? So we might also be 30, and we add more. So we're pretty much at $30 right now, right? With 8,000 Wombat being at a slightly less than 0.4 cents, right? So might also end up being a similar price. I don't know for sure yet. Will the VIP packs for the next season be from the new items? The VIP packs, so we're trying to get everything moved over to the new items. But for the VIP packs, we haven't fully agreed on how that's going to work. So please bear with me if I can't give you a fully transparent answer on that yet. It might be something like, no, I don't know yet. Let's put it that way. So the idea would probably be that we have something generic that can contain something from any set, but not sure how we'll do that. Yeah, I mean, Mass-Baz, in general, that's the idea, right? That if you're level 5, or actually you get the free transactions also below, right? But we may have to reevaluate that depending on how expensive transactions will become, right? How many you get, for instance. But in general, that's exactly what the idea behind VIP staking is when it comes to wax and EOS and stuff. Mass-Baz, you can put more rewards in the same length. You don't need to do it deeper. Well, right now that's not possible because we can't. We have it's full. It's full on the 10 meter scale, pretty much. Can we extend the season 1 day so I can hit? Yeah, okay, locked out. Will it extend the season for you? No. Can you reverse the gear changes for the Well of Wealth and make pants and bracelets its own achievement? Why would we do that? Like, reverse it. Should be increased to 1,000 meters. The OG badge. Questions about the OG badge. Any new drops or anything for the OG badge holders? Yeah, I mean, after the last screw up that we had with regards to the OG badge, we weren't very keen on launching it like that again, right? So either we would send something to OG badge holders rather than dropping, where people can claim, or it would have to be something else, right? So we had an idea in mind, but yeah, we might have to revisit that. Okay, goofballs. Let me, if you could give me your collection name, you can look at that. Rising Dragons, we haven't. No, we haven't. Yeah, you're right. We haven't discussed the minting fees for the Bombay ships. Hi, Adrian. Can we have extra large Wombat revert his Wombi bank to counter max trees? We can. That would be interesting, right? We kind of had the plan to do those originally, but have not followed through with that. So might look at that again. Is there a reason that EOS API Atomic Assets IO was taken down, or was it moved? Some of us use that data to do our template updates for Dungeon Master. So I think that was taken down before we acquired Atomic Hub, because I remember that there was no Atomic Assets API publicly on EOS. We had a brief discussion internally whether it would be easy or difficult to bring that back, and the problem is that this would come with, I'm not saying a lot of effort, like in terms of it's not necessarily millions of dollars, right? But it is quite it is additional effort, right? So we can't just, it's not like we flip a button and it's there. We have to put in some work from an infrastructure perspective, and so that was not a priority because we don't know how many people would use that, right? If there's substantial requests to get that back, then we might actually get it back. But I've only heard 2 or 3 occasions in 5 months now where that would be the case, where people actually wanted this. So curious. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe I missed out on something here. Some of the discussion here, but let's trying to move ahead. So the free transactions should be available from VIP level 2 up. And VIP 5 gives you Prime on top, right? And we used to call the free transactions thing Prime, but we rebranded Prime essentially. And ever since we have free transactions from level 2 and Prime from level 5. So if anyone is level 2 or up and is not getting free transactions, let me know. Might be, or submit a support ticket. Might be an issue there. Yeah, the 3+1 blends. We'll try to put them out. We'll try to put them out as many as we can towards the start of the new season. There is a few changes, and we haven't gotten around basically finishing all the balancing regarding that. So that's the only thing. The Dragon Wombatium. I mean, I don't tend to answer these kinds of questions here, but the Dragon Wombatium is very likely to remain part of that. Would it be fairly easy for the Wombat team to include a countdown on the remaining time left when the claim is available again on the official Wombat Tree Wolf claim page? I will ask. I guess. Let me post that in the right channel directly. What's the max percentage for the vault? I think folks have calculated that to be 260 for next season, and overall it should be around this, lucked out 300. So for EOS, I'm not entirely sure there's any public Atomic Assets API endpoint right now. Geller will. The VIP benefits, we always have discussions about what is it that we can add for VIPs, right? So if we change anything, we're not going to be removing anything, but we'll be adding stuff to make it more attractive, right? Because you're saying I hope not, then I would say I hope yes, because I hope that we can add more cool stuff to them. T. Drudley, I just want to know if you were aware that only the biggest of players or richest of players could get the golden key. If you let people unstake before the blend, at least some normal people would have a chance. Maybe next time. Yeah, so some of that sometimes is intentional, and some of that is well, none of that is ever kind of happenstance entirely, right? So we do think about these things, and basically, if you're right, if we include, let's say, Fabergé or whatever, and you can't answer, or frozen, right? Most of the people have their frozen steak. That was that was not a coincidence, right? Um, there was some thinking behind that. But in general, the golden key was supposed to be hard to obtain. Now, what does hard to obtain mean in a system where, I mean, my favorite example of that was Ready Player One, right? And there you need to do a lot of discovering and working and so on. So it's cooler if there's a kind of financial and a work component involved. Now, we had an idea that we have been floating internally, that we wanted to do. It's just that we didn't. We'll say we saved that for the next time, right? So next time is going to be different. And how different? Well, it's sure still going to involve some component that you can't have if you're not kind of one of the stronger players, right? So you could argue with Victor and Basham having that as well, because you probably are talking about the frozen and the cashmere, right? Because people couldn't unstick them. So next season is going to be different. I said that this season is going to be different than last season. So the Sign of the Hourglass obviously was a gag, because a lot of people have been wondering kind of what do we do with all these old NFTs that nobody knows what to do with, right? So that kind of shows that there's always a use for some of these NFTs. I would also prefer something that's kind of more that involves more kind of work and discover stuff and so on. But that would also involve more intermediate steps, right? So that is we didn't end up executing on this. But next season we'll have something else again. RAM on EOS. I had a discussion with Eve a few weeks ago, Eve LaRose from the US Network Foundation, and he mentioned this to me, and I looked it up and I was like, oh man, that's really expensive. But it's from an EOS perspective, right? It's gotten a lot more expensive recently, right? But from a dollar perspective, since EOS is very, very cheap, it's still not worrying from an operational perspective, right? That's okay. when will players be able to pick specific vaults to get paid out, or are they locked in and get 20% for each past season? No, you will be, like, starting from next season, you'll be able to choose the ones that you don't want to extend anymore. So if that works for you, that endpoint, then I won't say don't use it, but that's not an officially kind of documented, hey, we're offering this to the general public endpoint. Nasbaz, oh my god, the whole Treevolve discussion with OpenSea. I mean, we've been trying to get them banned or delisted entirely. So we've been reporting these collections to OpenSea. I find it ridiculous that the official Treevolve collection is banned while they're allowing fake collections to exist on OpenSea. Right? It's the most ridiculous thing. What can we do about this? Well, all that we can do is essentially report them, and that's also what you can do, and anyone else and everyone else. If you see those collections on OpenSea, on Magic Eden, and so on, then don't buy them. Report these collections so that they get removed, right? Because it's obviously not good for anyone. And unfortunately, we're aware. It's just that there's new ones coming up every other week, essentially. So we've, like I said, we've been reporting those. And after our conversations that we had regarding Treevolve with OpenSea, I'm not very hopeful that us reaching out to the support once again will be very fruitful, but we can also try this. Here's a suggestion for VIP benefits. You pick the level, but cheaper Atomic Hub fees. Well, that's something that we had discussed and thought about. The problem is the way this is implemented in the shared liquidity protocol on Atomic Market. That's not a very straightforward thing to do, right? Because the fee, the maker and taker fee, is set for all the marketplaces participating, and it's designed. And we had a lot of discussions with other marketplaces about this. It's designed to be the same for every marketplace, right? So by design, it's also not supposed to differ between different marketplaces. So that's why we can't really do this. So without changing that on the protocol level, meaning that it would also become cheaper to trade on Nifty blocks, for instance, right? Depending on your VIP level. So that's one thing. Then there's another thing, which is that we have on-chain staking, but on different chains, and so that doesn't directly relate to what stuff looks like on Atomic Hub, let's say on Wax, but that's a smaller problem. But the third one is that we were thinking about an alternative, and this is that you essentially get cash back, right? And so that's how we came up with the rewards. That's why there is a portion of tokens that's being paid out to everyone, right? So I think that's a better way, right? So what we could do is essentially long term, that's also something that we will have to do instead of using tokens from the treasury to give you rewards. You could be getting we would be using a portion of the fees to buy back tokens and distribute them to traders, and then people who are VIPs would get a higher multiplier on that. So the higher multiplier, for instance, is something that we have been discussing as a VIP perk in general. As a next time golden key suggestion, make secret goals. If someone reaches some odd goal, not an obvious goal, then they get a key. Yeah, the problem is that's, I mean, I get the idea and the gist, but it's not exactly what we want to be doing. Because we want that to be somewhat predictable so that people can do something specific, or at least can try something specific, right? But having a component of this, like this oddness, I like that. The scrap bombation for the items, well, there will be more blends for the scrap bombation. Whether it will be the same or not, or a simpler or more difficult one, we'll see, right? But we'll bring it back pretty soon. Yes, we will review the MP of old packs. That being said, the supply also didn't change much, right? From those of those old packs. I have level 2 equipment. As a dynamic player, I would love to level up the equipment at some point, but why do I have to wait 24 hours to claim the staked one and do the level 3 blend? Season break mid-season might help, or any other ideas? Yeah. So in general, the reason for this is that what we don't want item hopping, right? Just like that's the same reason why you don't want, or why we have a 24-hour unstake period for NFTs that are staked, simply because we don't want anyone to start a run, unstake, hand them over to another player, that player starts a run, and so on, right? So that's the most effective way of preventing people starting runs, different people starting runs with the same type of equipment. Now you could say, okay, but if I just want to blend it, then why do I have to still unstake it? That's a valid point. From a technical perspective, that would be incredibly hard to build, right? That we can upgrade or blend stuff that's staked, at least the way it currently is. Other ways of upgrading, like for instance, leveling up sidekicks, that works, right? So we could use a different mechanism to level up, but that's a different story. And so now you're saying season break and mid-season. So you want another season break? I'm having a tough time with that, because that would put apart all the balancing essentially. That's a tricky one. Let's put it that way. Rising Dragons. I will have to chew on this. with the team a little bit. At the start of next season, will I be able to take out a season payout any day, or do I have to wait until end of season? I think it's still the mid end of season checkpoints, and you will also. I think it's also an all or nothing, right? You can either take it all or none of that. There's kind of a toggle, right? And it will be paid out, and then it's gone. What do you think about new joiners pool and my suggestions? Could you repeat your suggestions, Ling? Because maybe I missed that here, or it was something that we discussed last week. Thank you, Geller. Well, I also really appreciate the community, so happy to have you here. Grubfish will there be? Yes, we can do a grubfish, but I have to leave in half an hour, so are people having problems staking their wombat on Polygon using the mobile app? I hope not, but I haven't heard of that, but also I haven't done it myself in a while. So a few weeks probably. So I'll check it afterwards. Maybe someone else can confirm. Yeah, that one. I thought that was fixed though, but let me check back. Thanks for your cheers, Guillermo. Belly boost, it can take a while depending on the gas that you set, and the network congestion, and then your transaction might actually get dropped after a while when it doesn't get confirmed anytime soon. That's a funny one. Whiskey got spilled on your keyboard. The next gold item. So the next item that will be using gold, there for sure is going to be Wombations that are going to be using gold. We currently don't have. So for the first two buildings, I'm not sure whether we include a gold for the clan base yet, but that will also be an option, of course. Have you ever thought of doing non-custodial staking? That would be an easy way to keep it staked and level up while it's staked. What do you mean with non-custodial staking? What's not custodial about? What's custodial about the way we do it? Because you can get it back, right? The smart contract is built so that we don't have an influence over whether you get it back or not. Yes, it will be possible to play in Dungeon Worlds without buying land. I watched the last burn stream, very dramatic. Yeah, we actually, by the way, we found out what the problem was, and we'll be burning those Wazir tokens. Let's see whether we can manage today, but latest tomorrow. Not live. We'll do a separate stream for that, but we know what to do. We know what the problem was. It's essentially the way the smart contract has been implemented. It has a burner role, and we needed to assign that burner role first. Thanks for the reminder, Rising Dragons. Okay, let's do this already. It's just that this is gonna destroy our nice little conversation here, right? So let me walk through some of the questions. Okay, let me just quickly. Okay, so now we can start the crabfish. So you can already come on, and I'll be answering the questions, and then I hope that I'll see the remaining questions. So exclamation mark wombat, yeah, exclamation mark wombat with your Wax account name to join, and then if you have a question, maybe don't post it now. Wait a minute or two for all the people to join the crabfish, and I can go through the questions. Will we be able to disconnect a Wax wallet from Wombat app? We can do this for you manually, but we don't have an automated way of doing that yet. But you can submit a support request, and we can do that. Any updates with the pack fragments? Yeah, I answered that earlier. When blend and amount of them to mint a pack, that's definitely going to come before the season starts. But we need to really set kind of the emission rate and in line with the blend requirements. Chucky is saying, I would like to make a public request from you, Adrian, from me, I guess. So that's a public request. I know you don't normally add small collections, but there is a person in this community that's invaluable. He's starting a new aspect to his collection. He does not charge for his search tool that helps so many of us. I'm speaking about Pop in Stock. His collection is Pop in Stock Go. Please consider my request. We will have a look at that. Yeah, I'm not giving you kind of any preliminary answer here, because it's not like we have super strict guidelines for what we do and what we don't, right? But we do sometimes add collections that don't go through the voting. But in order to get into the voting, typically, or also in order to be added by us, by ourselves, we do have some size requirements. But we'll see. Thanks for bringing this up, Chucky. And we have Gingerbeard. I've noticed when staking Tree Wolf seeds for the first time, you need to give permission to a third party. They can unstake and remove the NFTs without any permission needed, but it can be revoked. Why is that? So that is just a convenience thing. The third party is us, and it's our staking smart contract that can do that. Why is this? Because if you have ERC 1155 tokens, if you want to stake multiple at once, you can't just, or it's actually more gas efficient if you add a permission and then you can basically stake them with multiple at once, other than sending them all individually, right? So that's much more efficient. That's why we implemented it that way. That's very normal in Polygon or Ethereum or whatever in general when you deal with non-fungible tokens, right? Because that's the only way you can actually have a smart contract use your token balance of ERC20 tokens, right? So you have to grant a permission for that smart contract to actually take your tokens away from you. That's how it works, and that's why we implemented it for these kinds of NFTs. And I think Treewolf seeds, they're actually even ERC721s. They're not even 1155s, but they are. I think it's the same. That if you want to transfer multiple ones, then you have to do it like that. I sent them Discord button short. If a player in the newbie pool reaches level 30 during the season, he's automatically moved to the experience pool. If a player in the newbie pool reaches certain NP contribution in a 5-minute run, he's automatically moved to the experience pool. I like your suggestions. We'll have to think about them and see whether we can, how we can, or if that's feasible to implement. Will we be able to rent NFTs for a season based on a contract at some point? Yeah, that's something that we would love to do. We even had a rough idea sketched out how that would be possible. Wouldn't have to be for a season, could be for on a per day or per week basis. And these would be staked NFTs, right? Because they would have to be staked in Dungeon Master. Let's say we would start with equipment, with gear, right? That would be the first thing that comes to mind. So generally, renting is a bit of a pain in Web3 if you want to make it generic, because you would always have to have a smart contract that you put them into, and then either you have a wrapped version of this minted as another NFT, right? Or you basically have another component that would tell, okay, this is rented out to this other person, right? But that would mean if you use the wrapped version, for instance, you would have to allow using that wrapped version as well instead of the original version, right? So in Waxland, that would basically double the number of templates that can be used for anything. That's doable, but it's not anything that sounds very, very easy to do, right, from the get-go. So, but since the NFTs, if you want to use them, are staked anyway, we could actually piggyback on that, right? And that was the idea. So yes, from a conceptual point of view, you would like to do that. From a tech point of view, it's a long way. If Wombat team is reviewing the cost of Wombat for leveling sidekicks, could you include the cost for leveling up Wombat characters? Yes, we could review this. Doesn't mean that we're going to do anything, but yes. Yeah, pretty exciting they are indeed. Theoretically, I don't know. You can try, and then we'll disqualify you. But also, if you add multiple ones that you win, then you won't get 2 NFTs, right? All right, that may actually be the last time that we hand out ETA promo packs, but we'll do as usual. Let's play this round, and then because we're nearing the end of the stream anyway. Let's play this round, and then we can have some more questions, and then we'll do raid. So top 2 players, top 2 killers, and number 13 because it's 13th. So hope you're ready. I'll count on from 5 so that you can do your explodes, time them, and let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 107 people. That's pretty good. 107 grubfish. I'm not sure whether you're all real people. And a lot of explodes. Is that easily killed? Are you gonna explode as well? Or you just popped it up just like that? Would be interesting if easily killed, that strategy of resizing without actually exploding would have a chance of winning it. No, sorry. Maybe there was 13 though. I didn't see it for sure. Hey, thanks for the sub as well, Killer Bill. And thanks for the gift, Atlas Drawers. You're back with gifting. Very, very nice of you. And meanwhile, we only have... we're done. So congrats to Alec K and Raz Grizzlord. These are 2 that are getting a pack. So that's Alec. That's Raz Grizz. There's number 13 is Exposaro. Also congrats. And then we have our top 2 killers, AKCP. And we have a tie, and that's Philly and Connie. So both of you will be getting a pack. Oh, light. So congrats. Congrats. GG's. Cool stuff. I think most of you have won before. I'm not sure, probably not everyone, but some of you have won before, at least from what I remember if I looked at the account names. Love them. Aikila, the problem is that sometimes when you uninstall a game and then reinstall it, we don't, or oftentimes actually, we don't get these events from the tracking anymore. So all we can ask you for is to submit a support request, and then we might be able to do something for you. But if we don't technically get the event from the game anymore, then there's no way we can do that automatically. If we tell him politely, who's him? He will edit at some point. Who's him? I believe him. Who's him? 100th time you win. Is it really the 100th time? It does feel like it's the 100th time though. Yes, I can code my voice into the chest to say, we have a winner when you get a pack. Is that really something that you would want, or would you want kind of a drum roll and then something like from me? I don't know. We have a winner. Can we get multiple fragments in the chest next season? Interesting. Probably not. At least not at this stage. So we'll be reworking the whole chest. I've been saying that a bunch of times. Now we'll actually do that. It's too short notice to do that before the season starts, but that will probably launch towards mid-season, which also gives us a little bit of an advantage from a kind of how we launch that perspective. Anyway, and maybe thereafter you will be able to get multiple fragments. For now, it will be fragments and packs, so you still be able to get packs as well. Obviously at a different rate because the packs are different and so on, but there's going to be fragments and packs in the chest. 1 million times I lost, do I get a prize? So to anyone who's lost, the answer is play better and you'll win. Ooh, remove beta label when. We know when. Stay tuned. We have a plan for this. Will pants and bracelets be in standard packs? There's not going to be standard packs, but yes, the pants and bracelets will be in the types of packs that you'll be getting from the chest. Are fragments the new standard packs? No. So the reason why we renamed all the packs, and I know that it looks like they're pretty similar, and to a certain extent they are. The reason why we renamed the packs and changed their balancing overall is that we wanted to move away, to have a chance of rebalancing all this, right? So the fragments will be more, or the idea about the fragments is that they're more common than standard packs, right? And then we might also have different ways of using them, but also they're supposed to be generic, right? So that we don't have to give you a professor's fragment and a banker's fragment and so on, but there's just one type of generic fragment. And then it will be, let's say there's a blend, and then the blend can be removed or can be replaced by a new blend if we add more sets to this, right? To the blend or to kind of the mix that you can get from the chest. Play better. Sorry, that's just a joke. that's not fair. So, sorry. That's just a joke because there's the goal of Grubfish is not that that this becomes a skill game. It's not at all a skill game. But that's also why there is a massive delay between your command and what actually happens, so that it's mostly random, right? So I guess there is a little bit of a component, but because there has been some people who have won much more often than others, but that could also be just luck. One other suggestion: could the team use a comma to separate groups of thousands? Are we not using them, or are we using the wrong ones? So we were debating this. So for now, we're gonna have newbie. The first thing that we're gonna do is newbie packs, and then we'll see if there is any way we should add apprentice as well. But I mean, if you can blend newbie packs, then you can also blend them into apprentice packs, right? Obviously, by using multiple newbie packs. So that for sure is going to work. One of the things that we're actually happy with is the general scheme of needing to open packs as well in order to be able to blend them up, right? So you can't just blend them up without a thing. So the Wombatium that you need for that is in the pack itself. So that's cool, but so we might want to have a component like this in there. So that's why I'm not sure whether we'll go from fragments directly to apprentice or whatever. So that's Kevin Kev's strategy. I'm not sure how successful you've been with that, Kevin Kev. Okay. All Wombatiums have utility, all of them. So the very least is that you can stake them. So now, because the idea is, because we're rotating out of the old items, the old Wombatiums like Beast and so on will have less utility, right? Or none in the future. So we'll remove them from the shop so that they don't get over minted for no reason, right? And then we'll figure something out for them. And then we can add them back. Okay. So if that's worth less than 1 wax, that's fine, right? I mean, I'm not saying, I don't want to imply any prices, but in general, we wanted to have something that's fairly low value. Okay, let's do the raid. So people have been suggesting we raid Alien Worlds. Any other suggestions? Alien Worlds. Quadrill's art. Last question for the stream. What's the plan for tomorrow? You mean Valentine's Day? Not sure. Not sure whether anyone came up with anything. We generally don't celebrate Valentine's, actually. Okay, so like, should we raid Quadrill's art or Alien Worlds? Quadrill's art allegedly is playing Forsaken. Forsaken or Alien Worlds? Making more runs on Valentine's Day. It's also the last day of the season, right? So you shall make more runs. The raid is a Twitch feature, and I'll select the streamer who we raid, and then you can accept to move over to that other person's stream. Okay, I'm saying, I don't know. I'm saying let's raid Quadrill's art, because at least I don't remember having raided them before. Is that okay? That's going to be Warsaken. So, Quadral's art. Is that good? Okay. I'm not hearing any protests here, so we'll rate Quadral's art. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks a lot, everyone, for coming on. See you next week, and have a good season end. Thanks for showing up. So let's do this rate thing here. Bye-bye.